welcome you back to the Zion Space Stadium here in Utah for our pregame coverage brought to you by Aetna, the North Carolina Courage pregame show. Delighted to be with you for game number 2 for your back-to-back NWSL champion, North Carolina Courage. Once again, it's the Aetna North Carolina Courage pregame show. And we welcome you to our at-home studio. Hello, everybody. Great to be with you as we come inside. I'm Dean Linke, longtime voice of the North Carolina Courage. Hello, everybody. Great to be with you. And a quick introduction to my co-host, former NCFC youth player. She played at Cary High School and also spent time at Penn State. Great to be back with you, Anna Whitty. How you doing, Anna?
Likewise, Dean. I'm good. I'm ready for game 2.
Yeah, indeed. The North Carolina Courage is going to make some changes. We'll get to that in a little bit later. But earlier today, it was another 0-0 tie. Hopefully we'll see some goals tonight, Anna.
Yeah, I completely agree. Earlier this afternoon, it wasn't exactly the game everyone was looking for excitement-wise. So I think we'll see some goals on lots of great opportunities on goal, I should say, from both sides of the field.
Well, if you want excitement, you've got to talk to the president, general manager of the North Carolina Courage. So I'll let you introduce him, Anna, so we can get going.
Yes, we have Kurt Johnson, the president and general manager of NC Courage, as well as the North Carolina FC. He also has a soccer career of his own where he played at NC State. So, Dean, take it away.
All right, Anna, well done. Kurt, great to be back with you. And if it's not broke, we're going to keep on going with it, Kurt, because it certainly worked well to talk to you before the opening game. We bring you back in here, the president GM. Kurt, great to be with you. Obviously, a nice start for the North Carolina Courage.
Great start for the Courage. Strong performance, got the first goal and, withstood some pressure, but so proud of the result, the goal in the 94th minute, but just the consistency, sticking with their game plan and using a lot of players as well.
All right, we'll get back to the players. One thing I did want to talk to you about, Kurt, because you were so good talking about all the discipline it took to get to this point. In talking to the players on the road with presented by Continental Tire and talking to Paul Riley, all of them are saying they are not backing down. The safety is solid. They're getting tested every day. The protocol, even after games have been played, it's even better. Fantastic safety awareness for all the clubs.
Yeah, it's been a collaborative effort, certainly led by the medical experts, led by the NWSL staff, and then the players, coaches, and staff of the teams working morning, noon, and night to make sure that they have an atmosphere that is safe and prepares them for the games.
Kurt, to be fair, in many ways, I've been spoiled in that broadcast booth. I feel like maybe you can admit you've been spoiled as well because you always watch the games intently. It wasn't the prettiest performance for the North Carolina Courage, and Paul Riley will say as much in the Continental Tire coaches interview. But at the end of the day, it's that winning mentality. They still got it done.
Yeah, I don't care what sport you're analyzing or watching. 8 months off from playing a full-sided game against outside competition, to be able to put a performance on the field, play 90-plus minutes, 2 great goals, work through some rough patches. That's going to happen. Against a very, very good team. I thought it was a great performance.
One of the things that Paul was really pleased with is not every player had what he called 100% fitness level, but 3 players that he singled out for phenomenal fitness were Jaylene Daniels, Lynn Williams, and Dabia. They looked like they could play another game.
100%. Dabinia making that long run to come to the near post and get the cross from Haley Mace was spectacular. I mean, what an effort, the heat. And then obviously Sam Mewis, the first touch around the defender, getting herself clear onto the right flank and pinpoint cross to Lynn. 2 fantastic goals. And yeah, those are the leaders of our group, and they stood up big.
As the president GM, you know the importance, Kurt, of building depth. Obviously, and Paul talks about the loss of Ali Watt as we wish her a quick recovery. But in a tournament like this, you need depth tonight. Based on the starting lineup, that depth will get a chance to show what they can do.
It did in the first game as well. You know, Allie had just come in, and we were, you know, our heart goes out for her. She's got a great attitude, and she's going to be well taken care of. And I know she's going to work her butt off to get back on the field. But that's obviously a tough situation, and we wish her all the best, of course. And I know the fans do as well. You know, we had players come in, you know, and perform so well. You know, Addie getting the start at right back in the first game, and she did not look out of place at all. Confident, hard in the tackle, getting forward. I thought that was fantastic. And Lauren Millet getting in, doing some great stuff, low center of gravity, great ball control, good touch on her passes. She's going to get a huge opportunity tonight, along with 5 others that didn't start in the first game.
Just 2 more questions for you, Kurt. You see down at the bottom, 4 more sponsors. Every element is sponsored. I feel like more than even us and the fans, the sponsors were ready to get going. They've really stepped up behind this team, knowing that there's value in this team.
Yeah, I mean, we're all craving that outlet, you know, and the Courage and North Carolina Football Club have been fantastic in the community, players, as well as our front office staff, the fans. You know, there's just a lot of energy around the team, and our partners, our corporate partners see that. It's not been easy. We've had a lot of long discussions with each of our partners in trying to rework their deals in a very unique climate, a very unique situation in 2020. And credit to our partners for sticking with us, and our staff putting together packages, putting together this pregame show, postgame show to deliver value both to fans as well as corporate partners.
Finally, Kurt, with that, the fans, it's 10 o'clock at night. Normally you and I are asleep by 9:30. I feel like all the fans are going to be awake, and they're already talking about making coffee and everything. They're going to be fired up for this one.
No doubt. No doubt. It's like I said, you know, last pregame show, to be able to get to see this team in 2020 is an accomplishment, both from the players' side as well as everyone else working together to get these games on. Let's savor every moment. These 5 great athletes that are going to hit the field for the Courage and start tonight, getting an opportunity to do that against a quality team in this environment in NWSL. It's special, and hopefully it'll be a great result and a great game.
All right, Kurt, thanks so much for giving Anna and I the seat for this. We've really enjoyed it and appreciate you spending some time with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Glad to do it. Have a great show.
All right, Kurt Johnson, the President and General Manager for the North Carolina Courage and North Carolina FC. Next week, we'll talk more with Kurt for North Carolina. Right now, though, let's go back to Anna Whitty and have some trivia on the way. Take it away, Anna.
All right, Courage fans, we got some Courage trivia for you tonight presented by Iconic. So make sure you head over to fanzone.northcarolinafc.com to answer these questions. Which North Carolina Courage player has scored the most NWSL goals? A, is it Jessica McDonald? B, is it Davinia? Or C, is it Lynn Williams? Second question is, how many times has Paul Riley won the NWSL Coach of the Year award? Is it A1, B2, or C3? Lastly, which North Carolina Courage player has switched jersey numbers between 2019 and 2020? A, is it Kristen Hamilton? B, is it Sam Mewis? Or C, is it Abby Dahlheimer? Make sure you head over to fanzone.northcarolinafc.com to answer those questions.
It really is a pleasure having you on with me during these great shows. Thank Jorge Acuna, the media broadcasting, for all the work he's doing as well. And Kurt Johnson has the support of our sponsors. We wouldn't be here, Anna, without them. Speaking of sponsors, now we have to go to our matchup presented by Coastal Carolina, head matchup as we break this one down. And the thing that I'm most excited about as we start to look at the head-to-head comparison is how familiar you are with the Washington Spirit. You know this team really, really well.
Yeah, they did they messed up not messed up, but they changed up the lineup, excuse me, this game compared to the last game. They've got some new players in there that I'm excited to see what they're doing. And I think a lot of players are coming into this tournament and playing more than they would potentially in the last season. So Bailey Feist is up top in this game. She's actually a Wake Forest grad. She'll be playing alongside Ashley Hatch. And then we have Doreen Bailey next to Andy Sullivan in the midfield and Dougherty Howard. And I think Roosevelt will play a little higher than them in the midfield. And then the back line looks the way it normally looks for them: McGrady, Nielsen, Staub, and Huster. And then, of course, the 2019 goalkeeper of the year, Aubrey Bledsoe in the back. And I think for the Spirit attack, I think they'll put Ashley and Bailey Fight up high on top of the Abby Erskine and Kaylee Ertz. So I think the Courage will bring in Addison Merrick to almost playing a 3-back to let Jaylene play high. I think Ashley Hatch will sit on them really high. She'll either turn and shoot the ball, or she'll lay it off for a 1 or 2 touch goal from Roosevelt, which we saw in the game on Saturday that she's obviously very capable of doing that. And the coach also mentioned that the Spirit will probably play 2 holding midfielders. So, like I said, we should expect to see Roosevelt in that one at the top for them. And then Ashley Sanchez, she's not in the game. She's expected to come in the game, is what I've read earlier. I think if they keep her on her left foot, which she really hates to play on, then they'll be able to slow her down and kind of get her out of the game in a way. And then I think Daniels will be a great opportunity for them, for the Courage, to get high, to keep pressing this really young Spirit defensive line and almost play with 3 forwards in a sense with the midfielders as well. But yeah, this Spirit team's a very technical team. I think part of that's due to Richie Burke being from Liverpool. He's in the Premier League, and English soccer is very technical soccer. And I think he's trying to draft these types of players to play this style of play. So that's kind of what we should expect from the Spirit tonight.
And you've seen the goals. You saw earlier the goal from Ashley Hatch, the former North Carolina Courage player. It was Hatch here. It was saved, but then put away by the talented Rose Lavelle. They'll both be in the starting lineup. We'll have a little bit more on the starting lineup just a little bit later. And I'll let you set up the next segment as I was able to spend time with Paul Riley.
Yeah, of course. He doesn't need any introduction. Head coach Paul Riley sat down with Dean Linke to talk about today's matchup, what he expects from the Spirit team, and what he expects from this game tonight.
It is indeed the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, and we are joined by the world's best women's soccer coach, Paul Riley. Paul, great to be with you. First off, 1 game done. Everybody's played. Just give us your thoughts on how the Challenge Cup has gone so far.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. There's been a lot of ties, obviously. I think that's the parity of the league, but also I think everyone's still feeling away a little bit and trying to get over not having any preseason games. I think obviously normally we'd play some college teams and maybe 1 professional team, but none of us have had that luxury. So I think we're trying to, almost use this as a preseason game, so we get to the quarterfinals. So I think that's what a lot of people are doing. There's a lot of changes in lineups and stuff, as you've seen in the second set of games. But so far, I think there's a couple of really exciting games, and the last 2 have been a little bit monotonous to say the least. But I think it's just people making changes, and there's not a lot of sync between players when you change lineups so much. So I think that's the biggest issue, and I think most of us are just trying to get our players fit, healthy, and being able to play, your top teams 2 weeks from now, and being able to play 90 minutes 2 weeks from now, which I think is the harder point at full intensity. It's easy to play 90 minutes at half intensity, but if you want to play like we play, you got to be fit to be able to go 90, and it is hard. It is hard out there today. So, I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think obviously the viewership on CBS has been fantastic with the game with us in Portland the weekend with 517 million, 570,000. I wish it was million. My God, it would be amazing. 570,000, and the Premiership only gets 250,000 per game. So when you look at that, it's amazing for us. So we definitely got the spotlight on us right now, and I want the games to be a little bit more entertaining than maybe the last couple have been. So it's up to us to entertain, and hopefully tonight we can go out and entertain and impress everybody and make it fun, make it a fun watch at least, because the result at the end of the day right now doesn't matter. It's about getting everybody ready for the quarterfinals, and really that's our goal, is making sure that we are ready and all guns are blazing by the time we get to the quarterfinal.
Paul, here we go with the big reveal for the starting lineup. You've kept it close to your chest. Nobody knows. We're just moments before kickoff when we finally reveal it. So tell us who's going to start tonight and where, please.
Yeah, we'll go Steph in net. I think she didn't have a great game the other day, and my big belief in that if you don't have a good game, you get pulled out the lineup when you have a good game, not a bad game. So I wanted to have a good game tonight so we can make some decisions down the road. So we put her back in net tonight. Back four is pretty similar. We'll have Addie right back, Jaylene at left back, Abiez left centre back, and then at the right centre back, Kaylee Kurtz will come in to give Abby Dalcamper a blow. Kaylee's been great in pre-season, to be honest with you. Adds a bit of physicality to us, more of a pure defender, not as good on the build, obviously. I mean, there's not many as good as Abby Dalcamper on the build, but she'll give us a little bit more defensive toughness to us, and hopefully, she's played with Kiwi a lot because of the World Cup and Olympics over the years and all those other things that we've been able to do. So she does know her pretty well. So yeah, we'll see how she does tonight. She's the only one going into that back five, basically, that didn't play the other day. Midfield is where we made most of the changes. Sullivan's coming out, Sam Mewis is coming out, Crystal Dunn's coming out. We're going to leave Dabinia in, so the sixes will be Carrie Vaccaro and Mary Speck. In the tens will be Dabinia and Lauren Millay. And then up front, we're going to make one change up front. We're going to bring Mackenzie Meehan for Kristen Hamilton, and we'll keep Len in there. So as you can imagine, we've got a pretty strong bench. I'm looking forward to seeing this midfield play. This midfield, besides Dabinia, has been a midfield that's played all of pre-season against the first team. So when we put our regular box out like we did against Portland, this is the team that plays against it. So they're used to playing together, Carrie and Mary. They understand what we want perfectly from a tactical perspective. And then you've got Lo, who's been in great form. I think she can add a lot to us. And Dabinia, best player on the field for me the other night. So we felt if we could keep one of the four, that would be the one to keep. And then I would like to see, what Mackenzie Meehan can do. She, obviously with Ali Watt out, Mackenzie jumps one position here and gets an opportunity, and I'm hoping that she can get the job done. She plays well with Lynn Williams. They don't play a ton together, but she's effective around the box. She can hold the ball up, great in the air, and she's a bit of a sniper around the net, which is something that we definitely want. So looking forward to seeing her play. And obviously we've got a strong bench with Sam on it, and Sully on it, and Crystal Dunn on it, and Kristen Hamilton on it, and Abby Dalcamper on it, to name but a few. So we've got a pretty good bench, and we'll go 55-60, see how it plays out and see how the game plays out. We're playing a very good team tonight. I think they're going to be pretty close to full strength. I don't think they'll really leave anybody out. I think our look at it might be a little bit different from theirs. We're looking towards the quarterfinal game, so we want to make sure everybody's in good form, everyone's well rested, and most like Abby Dalcamp and Sam, if they can go on a weekend kind of schedule and periodization plan, is probably a little bit better for our group in the long run. In the short run, obviously you want to win the game, and I wouldn't play the lineup if I didn't think they could win. I'm confident that Carrie and Mary can get it done. They've been very good in pre-season, and they've played a lot together. So I think there's great chemistry between them. And Lo, to be honest with you, if we didn't have Kristen Dabinia, she'd be in any lineup in this league. So I'm looking forward to really seeing her express herself and show what she can do and show the world what she can do. She's a hell of a player.
I feel like, Paul, if they named the best 11 already, you could immediately put Jaylene on there, put Dabinia on there, and put Lynn Williams on there, let alone O'Sullivan. But I feel like those three have already stood out as three of the best in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I mean, that's why two of those three are still in the lineup, to be honest with you, because Dabinia's been so good. It's almost, we were thinking about Haley Mason. We just felt Dabinia's in such amazing form. It's just difficult to leave her out. So she'll go again, and she's created so much. I mean, she looks the most likely to score at any point or change the game at any point, impact the game, and that's the type of player she is. Lynn Williams is causing all sorts of trouble, and she'll cause trouble tonight. They don't have a ton of pace in their back line, so I feel like Lynn could cause them some trouble tonight. One reason why we stayed with Lynn and did make another change up there. So, and Jaylene has been, I mean, don't have to tell you guys, she's been completely outstanding on the left-hand side, and even better than she was last year, more effective going forward, better defensively, better position defensively. And, it'll be interesting for her because she's got a tough matchup on that side. I think Dorian will probably come in on that side and give her a bit of a run for her money because she's athletic too. But Jaylene's so good now. She's so smart and so sophisticated in the way she plays. I think she knows how to play against top players. She's done it for a while, but this year she looks really good. So I'm excited to keep her in the lineup and keep pushing on.
Just two more questions for Paul Riley. We always ask this on the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. Your two keys to getting a win against a young, talented Washington team.
I think the biggest thing is stop them in attack and transition. they're very good in attacking transition. They've got a lot of speed, a lot of creativity in the midfield, and they've got Hatchie up front, who obviously play for the Courage, and she's fast and dynamic, and you got Rose Lavelle underneath, who's great midfielder, one of the best in the world. So I think if you can keep the ball away from those two, you'll be successful. I think from our end of it, it's controlling the midfield. We have an extra man in the midfield, so it's what we do with that extra man, whether it's 2 versus 1 low in the midfield, 2 versus 1 high in the midfield. We have to take advantage of that area of the field. And then the other thing is, can we pin them in? The other day, Chicago let them out. They didn't press high on them. We're going to press high on them, force them to make quick decisions, force them into decisions they don't want to make. And they're the best team in the tournament right now, so we're playing the best team, and I think it's going to be a really good game. And they're young, they're athletic, they're all playing ping pong out there now, so they're excited for the game tonight. And hopefully we can turn the screw on them, pin them in like we did last year a couple of times. We got them pinned in, but they're much better now. They're more experienced, and they've got some severe talent in that midfield. So we got to be careful, no question. Their attacking transition or defensive transition, probably key to the game. Other than that, grab the midfield by the scruff of the neck and shake it, and hopefully we'll have some success there.
All right, finally, your message and support to Allie Watt.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating, obviously, for Ali. And, Ali, in typical Ali form, she says, this is the best year I could have got an ACL. It's the most time I'm going to be off before next season and stuff. And she's already preparing. I saw her in the pool this morning doing exercises. So she's already preparing for the operation and getting herself ready. Mentally and physically for the operation. But yeah, she was doing really well too. She really settled in, good personality now, and really settled into the team. The team really like her, and it wasn't easy because she missed the first part of preseason, but big part of this program, I think, in the upcoming years. And she showed me that she can play. And you always have your doubts anytime you have a draft pick because you haven't seen them live with your own players. But now that we've seen her live with our own players against our own defenders, and she's done really well. So I hope, for her sake, she gets back better than ever. I think she will. She looks determined character, and she'll be here for the rest of the time in Utah. So hopefully she'll enjoy it, and hopefully it's a long time in Utah. Hopefully it's another 27 days in Utah, not 13 days that she gets to stay. So we're looking forward to this game tonight. A big one. I think it's the big one was Portland on us at the weekend. I think this is probably the big one of this day with these two teams. And Washington is the best team right now in the tournament, so it's up to us to put our best foot forward, and that's what we intend to do.
That's our Continental Tire Coaches Corner with the great Paul Riley. Paul, thanks so much. Good luck tonight against Washington.
Thanks very much. All the best. Good luck to all the fans. Hope they're watching tonight.
It is indeed. All right. How about that? Goes the starting 11 presented by Bojangles, and you can't ask for a better job breaking down the team. I mean, I call him the fire hose. Paul Riley gives you so much great information, Anna. As you look at that lineup, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of difference in this lineup than the last game. I think we'll see that throughout this tournament because it's a tournament, and a lot of these players haven't played these style of games since they were in high school. But I'll just talk about the players that we normally don't see. So Kaylee Kurtz is playing back there with Abby Urseg. She signed with the Courage in 2018, and she's out of the University of South Carolina. So she's not far from home. She's great at passing out of the back, and she's really strong. So she'll be able to hold some of those fast players off. And then Meredith Speck is starting in the middle along with Carrie Recaro. She hasn't had a lot of playing time either. So I think this is a really good opportunity for her to just see where she's at and to prove that she belongs in the starting lineup as well. And then Carrie Recaro, coach actually spoke about her playing in the midfield earlier this week, but she went in for Addie on the right back, Addie Merrick, the last game. So she's changing her position. She's not afraid to get stuck in. She's clearly a very versatile player. So this will be another great opportunity for her. And then, of course, Mackenzie Meehan starting up top with Lynn Williams. She was drafted in Sky Blue in 2017, but she came in the Courage in June of 2019. She has a goal with us. She's got some youth national team experience. I think, again, I'll say it with all these 4 players, great opportunities for them to showcase what they have.
All right, great job, Anna. And you reminded me that the game that you called with me last year, Mackenzie Meehan scored a goal, so she knows what to do in front of the net.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think she is foreign, I guess, to this style of play and playing up top with Lynn Williams and with this midfield. So I think she'll fit in pretty seamlessly. She's also a very fit player with this Courage lineup.
All right, that's the Bojangles starting 11. 2 players injured. Of course, you heard Paul Riley talk about Allie Watt as we take a look at the Aetna health update. And Merritt Mathias, of course, recovering from that ACL. Speaking of ACLs, I thought that's what it was. If you remember Anna Whitty, just the
Mm-hmm.
way she was rolling. Indeed, it is an ACL. And then Jessica McDonald, the word is she may play in one of these first 4 games. She practiced yesterday and looked pretty good.
Yeah, I hope that she's back by the Sky Blue game. That's kind of what he said that their gauge would be, but obviously he didn't say for sure. Her and Lynn Williams up top are a huge threat. So to have her come back right before the quarterfinal game would be a huge gain for this Courage team.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jessica McDonald back again. You did a great job already breaking down the starting lineup for the Washington Spirit, which you can find online. We've just got a couple minutes before we have to sign off. You heard Paul Riley's keys. What might be Anna Whitty's keys to a North Carolina Courage victory tonight, Anna?
Good question. What are my keys to this win? I think if they can hold off Ashley Hatch up top and make sure Rose Lavelle gets no shots on goal, that's up to Carrie Recaro and Meredith Speck in the midfield to make sure she doesn't even touch this ball. The Spirit are really quick in transition. They showed that this past weekend. They need to slow them down. And like Paul Riley said, they don't have a lot of speed in their back line. So Lynn Williams and Mackenzie Meehan need to take advantage, run at this team, run at these players, scare them, get as many shots on goal as they can. And I think that's the key to winning.
All right. I think also one of the keys will be how they get up the left side. Jaylene Daniels was so dynamic on Saturday. She was incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She's a no-brainer. Of course, her attack in the final third of the field and what she can defend and how she can recover is truly insane. Like last season, I didn't even think her fitness could get any better than what we saw this season. But what we saw Saturday was insane. We couldn't even stop talking about it. It was really impressive, and I don't expect nothing less from her tonight.
All right, Anna Whitty, always a pleasure. I will see you in a couple hours. We like to sign off at least a minute early because we all got to race down and get ready and watch this game. I want to thank Jorge Acuna, the VP of Broadcasting. I want to thank Steve Malik, the amazing owner. Kurt Johnson, the president GM, was on. Kyle Prairie and Santiago, the job they've done with those sponsors is outstanding. Also want to thank Megan and Bobby out in Utah for making it happen. They'll be bringing the players for the post-game interviews. That's right, the post-game interviews. Join us right after the game. As soon as we can get rolling, we'll have the post-game show, even late night. We hope you'll stay up with us. For Anna Whitty, I'm Dean Linke. Let's go. How about the North Carolina Courage?